What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Stardust here. Welcome back to another video here on the YouTube channel, and today we are discussing very deep gear things involving Marvel's Avengers. So if you're into gear, this is definitely the video for you. So, an individual, clearly Bren10, asked, I'm curious about the damage increases on gear 2. Looks like those percentages went up too. They used to be 15%. Now, Bren is referring to a conversation he had with another individual called Squid regarding new gear perk increases and things like that. So for example, have you seen a perk that used to be 15% go up to 18%? This is kind of the reason why, and we get a little bit into that as well. So Alex says, many perks got percentage tuning, too many to list in patch notes. Between 1 and 5 most of the time, this is one of them. Then, we go on to see that Bren says, I saw with granting Contender 2 or granting Melee Breaker being 30%. Alex says, that was more than 5 for sure, but you couldn't see the percentage number, so it was more of a, oh, surprise kind of thing, or one of those you couldn't. Maybe it could from Contender, I forget. It got a bump though, regardless. Then Bren says, I'm wondering with, like Squid said with the piece above, how did they stack with using that slot 4 with both abilities active? Is it 36% damage increase? Now, what he's basically referring to is that the individual called Squid showed off 2 gear pieces where realistically both of them together should produce a 36% damage increase. Bren then says Melee Breaker you could always see, so it was a very pleasant surprise. Alex then says most percentage-based perks are not additive and have some form of diminishing returns. So 30% would be mathed out, and instead of that number being used for the next 15%, the OG number is used and then that number is added. So most of the time, it's a 45% is taken from the base number, but I cannot remember if this works like that or is stat-based and it has normal diminishing returns. Then, Alex responded to the Melee Breaker. Okay, must be another one I am thinking about. Bren responded, it was the slot 2 granting and receiving stuff. Alex said there were 8 perks in claw gear that didn't have a percentage, but those were the most obvious ones. 1 for cap increasing block attack damage, for example. Then Bren said, so 15% damage increase is calculated, comes up with a new damage number. That new number is then subjected to other increases. Alex says the new number is almost never used to calculate for an additional buff. That's how battery damage works and is a big no-no. The base number is what gets mathed and slapped on the end. So something like base number, brackets without buffs, times perk 1 equals new number, base x perk 2 minus base equals bonus delta, new number plus bonus delta equals number you see. That's how we should do every stacking math, but that's not how we did it at launch, and some things do it way worse, or better depending on your point of view, but I fix them when I find them. So Alex kind of there indicating that there's a lot of times in gear where he will just play with something or notice something that genuinely needs a bit of a buff, or a nerf, or a fix around, or something like that, and he will do it essentially on the fly, and obviously put it in when you're able to patch it into the game. And then Bren says, okay, cool, good to know it'll all be unified under the same method. Alex says there is some time in the future that this will be true, but I can't say that's now. Bren says easy to make decisions then and pick and choose what to sacrifice or go out and chase. Alex says it also prevents people getting to a true 100% armor situation. Obviously, we saw that before, and that got nerfed with the comics. Bren then says, oh, like infinite amounts of damage. Alex said that too. And then Bren said, I see what you're doing. Gear should use a brain and is a tool in the toolbox, not making content trivial. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So for me personally, as someone who is in the world's greatest mathematician, this was quite a complicated video to do, but I do hope that me kind of reading it off as clearly as possible for people who are kind of gear nerds would be able to take something out of this discussion and understand exactly what is going on. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Thank you all for watching as always, and thank you all for the support. So that is what has happened with the percentage increases with gear as well. Hopefully we get some more news later because I'm really in a mood to make videos again. I'll see you guys later. Peace.